It is abundantly clear from the evidence seen above that the Muslim conquest of Spain initiated one of the brightest periods in the history of man. The darkness of oppression and injustice reigned over Spain prior to the Muslim arrival. It was the mercy of Islam that liberated the Jewish population. The Muslims' behavior was not accidental. The previous examples of Syria and Egypt serve to demonstrate the consistency of their conduct in different lands, in different times. Thus, the laws of the Quran are a form of God's mercy, which is shown to Muslim and non-Muslim alike when they are implemented as intended by God in accordance with the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. And we have not sent you, O Muhammad, except as a mercy to the world. The consequences of justice, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence, much of Western philosophy and science finds its basis in the thoughts and teachings of the ancient Greek philosophers. In the 6th century BCE, the ancient Greeks broke away from a mythological approach to understanding the world. They initiated an approach based on reason and evidence, what is today called rational thinking. It is defined largely by three great thinkers, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. In 387 BCE, Plato founded the Academy in Athens, the first institution of higher learning in the Western world, which helped to lay the foundations of Western philosophy and science. The Academy entered for nearly 1,000 years as a beacon of higher learning. It was closed by the Byzantine Emperor Justinian in 529 CE in an effort by the Catholic Church to suppress the heresy of pagan thought. The Greek ancient chronicler John Malalus recorded during the consulship of Decius, the emperor issued a decree and sent it to Athens, ordering that no one should teach philosophy nor interpret the laws. Following the closure of the Greek schools of philosophy, Europe entered into a 1,000-year period of intellectual slumber. Thus the lights went out on rational thinking, and Europe entered the Dark Ages. Indeed, Europe's creative energies and inventiveness are acknowledged much later, only from the dawn of the scientific revolution in the 16th and 17th centuries. A good example that is characteristic of this era is that of the astronomer Galileo. In 1610, he published a work which promoted heliocentrism, the idea that the Earth and planets revolve around a relatively stationary sun at the center of the solar system. Today, science has confirmed that this model of the universe is correct. However, at that time it conflicted with the prevailing theological belief of geocentrism. Due to its literal interpretation of the Bible, the Catholic Church held that Earth was the center of the universe and that all heavenly bodies revolved around the earth. Galileo's discoveries were met with opposition within the Catholic Church, and in 1616 the Church formally declared heliocentrism to be heretical. Heliocentric books were banned, and Galileo was ordered to refrain from holding, teaching, or defending heliocentric ideas. Later, the Church found him gravely suspect of heresy, sentencing him to indefinite imprisonment. Galileo was kept under house arrest until his death in 1642. There is a stark contrast between this intellectual slumber of Europe and activity in the Islamic world. The coming of the Quran in the 7th century not only transformed Arabia but also the lands that were under the control of the Muslims. The peace and sense of security that Islamic rule brought about consequently produced one of the most successful civilizations in the history of the world. While Europe was in dark ages, it was the Muslims that produced some of the best known scholars. Victor Robinson, a historian of science, eloquently summed up the contrast between medieval Europe and Islamic Spain. Europe was darkened at sunset, Cordova shone with public lamps. Europe was dirty, Cordova built 1,000 baths. Europe was covered with vermin. Cordova changed its undergarments daily. Europe lay in mud. Cordova's streets were paved. Europe's palaces had smoke holes in the ceiling. Cordova's arabesques were exquisite. Europe's nobility could not sign its name. Cordova's children went to school. Europe's monks could not read the baptismal service. Cordova's teachers created a library of Alexandrian dimensions. Some examples of Muslim advances in science are the mathematician Al-Khwarizmi, who played a significant role in the development of algebra. He also came up with the concept of algorithms, which is why he is called the father of computer science. The physician Al-Zahrawi is considered the greatest medieval surgeon and is described by many as far as the father of modern surgery. He made pioneering discoveries in surgical procedures and instruments. For example, the material he utilized, the internal stitching, is still used in